pregnancy to the illnesses that stop you in your tracks. Iredell Health System will be by your side. Learn more at iredellhealth.org.
Right now, Sharp's Lawn Equipment is offering 0% financing up to $800 rebates and Toro Time Cutter mowers as low as $29.99. Visit Sharp's Lawn Equipment in Statesville or visit us at sharpslawn.com.
The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the views of WSIC.
Hello all, and welcome to the L Show, where the L stands for leaning in, which means we will not shy away from any subject, no matter how taboo or uncomfortable it may be. Things like menopause, sex and libido, menopause, dry vagina, hot flashes, mental health and depression, which makes you not want to have sex, how we look and how we feel. I'm your host, Dr. Nicole Eastman, and I'm the owner of Rose Pharmacy and Boutique Apothecary located here in beautiful Cornelius. We are a compounding pharmacy with a focus on functional medicine and a much more natural approach to your health. And for those who are not familiar with what compounding is where your pharmacist makes medications that are formulated in a specific dose and or in a specific dosage form that is unique to you. And not all compounds or compounding facilities are alike. Quality shows in every aspect of what we do. You can find out more about us on our website at roserxboutique.com or on Instagram and Facebook at Rose Pharmacy and Boutique Apothecary. And the information presented on this show does not take the place of advice from your healthcare provider and may not be suitable for all audiences. Happy Friday to all of my viewers and listeners. I can't believe that we are heading into the second quarter of the year already. Time is flying by. I can't believe it. I mean, we're almost halfway over with the year. It's ridiculous. I hope everyone feels well about how their year is really going. I mean, we think about all those resolutions and the plans that we made and leaving all that bad energy and toxic people in our rearview mirror. And as Michelle Obama says, when you are climbing that proverbial mountain of growth, sometimes people just lose oxygen. So you got to keep it moving. Love that quote. So beginning of last week, well, the week before last, we discussed weight loss special on Oprah. And many of the people on that show that were addressed, they were diabetic, and they also had that added benefit of weight loss. And I mentioned that I thought the show seemed a little biased. Well, actually, I thought the show was very biased. And I thought that it really didn't address many real concerns. And as usual, this week I had a number of people coming in and even more people calling to find out about availability because they're trying to get these medications, many of whom were very frustrated. One of them was actually from another state. So it is clear that the issue of access is not going to go away. And that access could be by way of your insurance helping to cover it, access by way of its availability on the pharmacy shelves, and access by way of being able to afford it, even in situations where the insurance is covering it. So I've talked about how insurance companies work and the coverage works a little in the past, but I'm going to go into a little more depth now. First, let me say this. Make sure that you understand and are familiar with your plan's coverage and where coverage gaps are so that there are no surprises when you come to the pharmacy counter. Remember that your pharmacist is not an insurance agent, so they don't know where your coverage gaps are, okay? Now, what does it mean when an insurance company is covering something? Well, so there are different factors that can affect what this means. So there is the quality of the coverage. Some plans will cover the entire cost of a medication, and your copay could be absolutely zero, while other plans will only cover a portion of the drug, and you are responsible for the other part, and that is what your copay is. It is your part of the agreement. The specific medication is another thing that affects it, okay? In this situation, really, we're talking about the Ozempic, Mounjaro, Wegovy, and Zepbound, okay? Because not all of those are covered by all plans. And then also, your out-of-pocket contribution at certain points could be a very large amount. This is even when you have what you think is just full insurance coverage, right? You do, but there's that out of pocket piece. So, meaning at the beginning of the year, your contribution could be lower. Like your copay could be $25, right? $25, $50. And as the year continues, you may have to pay more and more. And when you reach a certain point, you could be paying for the entirety until you cross that threshold. And that is the coverage gap. So essentially, whatever that coverage gap is, it's measured in dollars. So if that coverage gap is $1,200 and you have a medication that is $1,199, you're going to be paying $1,199. Okay, and then when you're done with it, then you get back into your regular coverage. So that is one thing to be aware of. So what happens though when your insurance company covers it and the copay is affordable? Remember, access by way of the availability on the pharmacy shelves. Is it in stock? Many retail pharmacies don't even have the Wegovy's, the Ozempics, the Zepbounds, the Mounjaros. So you have to wait on it or figure out something else. Possibly get it changed to another medication or contact a compounding pharmacy, right? But there is also the issue of insurance companies requiring members and their providers to jump through hoops in order to get medications covered. So we talked about this on a previous show, and it's something called prior authorizations. So this is essentially when the pharmacy submits your claim, so you give the prescription to the pharmacy, they submit your claim, and the insurance company requests a prior authorization. So they reject it based upon needing a prior authorization. So then this has to be sent to the provider, and the provider then has to justify to the insurance company why you need this medication. It could be submissions of labs, anything. And after this process, the insurance company then makes a decision and shares the decision with the provider. And if it is a yes, the provider's office is then charged with reaching back out to the pharmacy so that the pharmacy can rerun the claim. So you see how convoluted that is, right? So think about the amount of time that process takes. And by the time everything is done and approved, the medication that was in stock has been dispensed to somebody else because they were ahead of you in this process. So then the patient starts to call around to pharmacies to see if they have the medication. And in the meantime, the patient doesn't really have access and the coverage no longer seems good. All right. So we are going to continue to monitor the situation in the market and discuss these diabetes drugs that are also labeled for weight loss and the issues surrounding them and how it is affecting real people. That's the conversation that we need to be having. It's the issue of access and how can we solve that issue of access. And when we get back from break, we are actually going to have a discussion around some uncommon and unrecognized symptoms of menopause that I think people may find interesting and also find an answer. If you or your healthcare provider has been looking for a quality compounding pharmacy in the Lake Norman area, look no more. Rose Pharmacy is the place for you. Quality shows in every aspect of what we do. And if you are taking too many medications, too many supplements, or both, make sure that you take advantage of our consultation services where we can help you safely solve that issue. And because I know many folks out there are on these weight loss medications, specifically the popular GLP-1s, which are the Ozempics, one of the other side effects that can lead to downstream issues is nutrient depletion. Rose Pharmacy now has a supplement specifically geared towards those medications, specifically for nutrient depletion. Why would you invest in a weight loss journey without maintaining the nutrients that your body needs while your calorie intake has been decreased? So you must be vigilant. Remember, allow Rose to help you solve that issue as well, and we will see you on the other side of the break.
There's more of The L Show on the way with Dr. Nicole Eastman from Rose Pharmacy on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
We're staying breezy as we round out the work week and cool, too. Partly cloudy skies. We warm into the low 60s again. Still with that breeze, and that'll hang on as we get into the first part of the weekend. Overnight temperatures will dip down into the mid-30s around the farms. Could even be a few folks that see some patchy frost early Saturday morning. We'll warm it up into the mid-60s for Saturday and a little closer to 70 by Sunday. And that's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. This Friday, come enjoy Burkdale's first Live Under the Oaks concert for 2024. Danny Carr and the Skeleton Crew will break in the Burkdale stage for the concert season. Bring your lawn chairs to Huntersville and come early. Music powered by Waves Entertainment begins at 6 p.m. Come out and have an amazing time in Mooresville with a weekend doubleheader. On Friday, Uncorked and Artsy returns from 5:30 to 9 p.m. featuring wine and craft beer tastings and an art walk display. Then Saturday marks the beginning of the 2024 Festival of Food Truck Series. Information is available at downtownmooresville.com. The Kane Center for the Arts hosts 4 big shows in 3 days. Thursday, April 11th, sees singer and guitarist Joni Shaw Taylor performing. Doors open at 7 p.m. and the show begins at 8 p.m. Friday, April 12th, 80s music icon John Oates performs. Doors also open at 7 p.m. with the show beginning at 8 p.m. On Saturday, April 13th, comedian Jeff Allen delivers laughs at a 4 p.m. matinee and then again at 8 p.m. Saturday night. For more information on these shows and many other programs, visit canearts.org. That's CAIN arts.org. Merle Fest is back April 25th through 28th at Wilkes Community College, featuring nearly 100 performers including Old Crow Medicine Show, Sam Bush, Turnpike Troubadours, the Teskey Brothers, Nickel Creek, and more. Tickets and information at merlefest.org. Listen every morning to Good Morning LKN and follow WSIC News on Instagram for your chance to win tickets. Have an event you would like to tell people about? Yard sales, estate sales, and everything in between? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
Now more of the L Show with Dr. Nicole Eastman from Rose Pharmacy on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
Hello, and welcome back to the L Show. I'm your host, Dr. Nicole Eastman. If you or your healthcare provider has been looking for a quality compounding pharmacy in the Lake Norman area, look no more. Rose Pharmacy is the place for you, where quality shows in every aspect of what we do. And if you are taking too many medications, supplements, or both, make sure that you take advantage of our consultation services where we can help you safely solve that issue. And because I know many folks out there are on weight loss medications, specifically those popular GLP-1s, one of the other side effects that can lead to downstream issues with those medications are nutrient depletions. Rose Pharmacy now has a supplement specifically geared towards GLP-1 nutrient depletion. Why would you invest in a weight loss journey without maintaining the nutrients that your body needs while you are calorie restricting? You must be vigilant, and I want you to allow Rose to help in this regard, where we can help make your weight loss journey, no matter where you are in the process, a much more comprehensive one. Call or come into the store and let us know that you heard about our weight loss support supplement on the L Show, and we're going to give you 10% off. And as always, I want to remind you that at Rose, there is a guarantee of what is in every bottle. Very few companies can offer you that. Please be sure to call in with questions or comments today at 844-STUDIO-4, 844-788-3464. So we typically discuss on the show, the more common things that occur during menopause, right? I opened the show up with all those common things. But today, we are going to discuss some of the uncommon things that can occur during menopause that people may not even think to associate with it. But that being said, the fact that it is uncommon does not make it any better for those who experience it. And we're going to take a look at some typical therapy options, whether pharmaceutical, natural, and or behavioral. And guys, we are keeping this real today. So again, all of this may not be suited for all audiences, okay? So the first uncommon thing that you don't really associate with menopause is body odor. Body odor. So everyone has a scent, right? And that the perception of the scent is less noticeable to ourselves than it is to others. But there are times when you would expect to smell a little off, and you are aware of the off smell, i.e. after working out, long day without being able to freshen up, or even when you eat certain foods. So, what is happening with hormones during menopause, though, can lead to a change in body scent. I mean, you like during puberty, pregnancy, and menopause, you're going to have the most drastic changes, your increases or decreases in your hormones, your estrogen, your testosterone, your cortisol, your progesterone. Those changes can occur in areas like your underarms, your vagina, your groin, and everywhere else. So, all right. One of these things, phantasmia, I just want to just mention that. Well, phantasmia, excuse me, that's smell hallucinations, okay? Smelling things that are not there. There's dysomnia, that is a distorted sense of smell. And then there's hyposmia, which is a diluted or loss of sense of smell. So you may be smelling badly because you can't smell yourself. Okay, so that's kind of an issue, right? Now, increased perspiration due to hot flashes, okay, that increase in sweating combined with a greater bacterial diversity in the sweat itself can result in body odor as well. Testosterone, just a FYI, testosterone increases. They can cause a rise in bacteria. That level increasing can absolutely affect an increase in bacteria. And it is also linked to a chemical called androstenol, which is associated with a musky scent, like the oniony musky scent. I think many people know what I'm talking about. Also, greater anxiety as well. So, regular sweat, okay, is released from the eccrine sweat glands. But stress sweat, very different. It is released from the apocrine sweat glands. And apocrine sweat glands contain more proteins and fats compared with the other types of sweat glands, which negatively affects odor. Now, vaginal odor. A major change in vaginal odor could be possible. It could be possible there are signs of concern, especially if the odor is fishy, it's rotten, yeasty, right? That's where you want to make sure you go ahead and make your next visit to your doctor's office, okay? Because there's something else going on, possibly an STD. You just never know, right? So, but hormonally, decreases in estrogen is the main contributor to vaginal odor changes. How this happens is because estrogen, it helps the vaginal and vulvar tissues, it helps them self-lubricate, okay? And when the levels drop, when your lubrication drops, so does the vaginal pH, which and generally make up the bacteria that you have causing there's like an overgrowth. You have an overgrowth of the bad bacteria because that estrogen and the lubrication help to stave those bad ones off. But when you have a drop, you drop that vaginal pH. Next thing you know, you've got an overgrowth of bacteria, and then you have odor and possibly discharge. So staying on the vaginal odor issue, some women experience pelvic floor changes, which can affect the muscle tone and significant thinning of the muscle around the urethra, which could cause urinary leakage, and that can cause the urine-like smell, right? So that makes sense. Now, what can you do? Well, first, I think it's behavior, right? So keeping a log of things that you're eating, any medications that you may be taking, alcohol intake. And as I mentioned, certain foods and medications can absolutely contribute to body odor. But if you think that it is due to a medication that you may be taking, before you just stop taking it, make sure you discuss it with your provider, because we need to make sure that we look at possible alternatives. We may need to step you down, right, to basically taper you off to make sure that it's safe, okay? Now, number 2, probiotics. I've talked about this on the show many times. Probiotics are your best friend. This helps to populate the vaginal canal with the good bacteria, okay? Stress relief, like yoga, mindfulness practices, getting enough sleep, and you could consider a supplement for adrenal support, which of course we have at Rose Pharmacy. But that is also something that you can do. Also, guys, revamp your hygiene routine. If you have never had to before, you may need to shower much more quickly after exertion or exercise. So don't just stay in those yoga pants, okay, chilling out after you've exercised or whatever and expect to be smelling all good like you used to. No, you just can't do it. So make sure you are showering much quicker after any exertion. Also, quick rinses after a hot flash. I know when I would experience hot flashes and you'd wake up in sweat, you should get up, go ahead and just take a quick shower, rinse off, and try to get back to sleep. Okay? Try. You can also apply deodorant or antiperspirant multiple times during the day. So you could apply it in the morning. And then if you notice an odor change like during the day, you could go ahead and reapply again. There's also whole body deodorants, and I'm sure people know what I'm talking about. You've heard the commercials. There are a few of them out there now, and there's been a few that's actually been on the market, but there's been more attention to the whole body deodorants. Those I think are good options, but just understand that whole body deodorants, they are not antiperspirants. So they do not stop you from sweating, right? They are just trying to mask odor, and also some of them have some antibacterial properties as well. So also avoiding douching. People think that, oh, it doesn't smell good, so I'm going to douche. Well, nah, that is all you're doing is exacerbating a problem and making it worse, because what you're doing is you are removing the good bacteria that you have. So you go in with a douche and you're just flushing out, and you're giving the bad bacteria the opportunity just for massive amounts of overgrowth. Also, staying hydrated. That will help you stay diluted. The less concentrated your sweat, the less it is going to smell. Also, just keep in mind that these hormone-related changes could be correcting themselves if you have already engaged in some sort of hormonal replacement therapy, or even some natural alternatives to trying to get your hormones more balanced. But this is just one of the things. We're going to talk about something else in just a second. These are just one of the things that can occur that you're really not associating with menopause, with the fluctuations in your hormones. But this could be the reason why. You may be wondering, dang, why? I can walk and I'm like, what the heck is going on? I don't smell as good. Well, this could be the reason why. Not anything with your hygiene. It just could be your hormonal fluctuations. Okay? So when we get back from our break, we are going to go into yet another uncommon symptom of menopause that I think you guys will be also very interested in. So if you or your healthcare provider has been looking for a quality compounding pharmacy in the Lake Norman area, look no more. Rose Pharmacy is the place for you, where quality shows in every aspect of what we do. And because I know that many folks are on these weight loss medications, specifically the popular GLP-1s, one of the other side effects that can lead to a downstream issue is nutrient depletion. Rose Pharmacy now has a supplement specifically geared towards GLP-1 nutrient depletion. Why would you invest in a weight loss journey without maintaining the nutrients that your body needs while you are restricting your calorie intake? You must be vigilant. Allow Rose to help in this regard. We can help make your weight loss journey, no matter where you are in that process, a much more comprehensive one. Call or come into the store. Let us know that you heard about our weight loss support supplement on the Elle Show, and we're going to give you 10% off. And as always, I want to remind you that at Rose Pharmacy, there is a guarantee of what is in each and every bottle. Very few companies can offer you that. And we would love to hear from you today in the studio with questions and or comments at 844-STUDIO-4 or 844-788-3464. You can also interact with us on social media. We'll see you on the other side of the break.
Keep it right here. The Elle Show with Dr. Nicole Eastman from Rose Pharmacy will return after this short break on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Well, staying breezy as we round out the work week, and cool, too. Partly cloudy skies. We warm into the low 60s again. Still with that breeze, and that'll hang on as we get into the first part of the weekend. Overnight temperatures will dip down into the mid-30s around the farms. Could even be a few folks that see some patchy frost early Saturday morning. We'll warm it up into the mid-60s for Saturday and a little closer to 70 by Sunday. And that's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
If you're looking for the most epic place on Earth, let's start at the base of a massive waterfall. Then trek through the thick jungle. Then climb to the peak of a snowy mountaintop. Then once you get there, keep going. Because with intelligent 4x4 and 7 drive modes and a Nissan Pathfinder, the search is the real adventure.
Available feature. Intelligent 4x4 cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions.
Febreze Fabric Talk. Hey, it's me, your couch. Today's my favorite day of the week. Febreze Fabric Spray Day. The occasional deep cleans are nice, but in between, you know I'm needing a refresh. Ooh, here she comes with the Febreze Fabric Spray. Oh yeah, spritz them armrests. Don't be shy. Nothing like a good spray down to get me smelling so fresh and clean. Don't forget my back. Nice. Febreze Fabric Spray. It's just that easy. Now we can both breathe happy. Febreze. La 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 la.
I have diabetes. I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I have asthma. I'm at risk too.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Another much better than forecast jobs report for March. 303,000 new workers added, sending the nation's unemployment rate one notch lower to 3.8%. Wage growth once again outpacing the inflation rate, with average hourly earnings up 4.1% from a year ago. Well, right now, that's got stocks on Wall Street moving higher. The Dow up 0.9%, the Nasdaq up 1.25%, the S&P 1% higher. It could be the higher prices, could be all those people taking weight loss drugs like Ozempic. But the USDA says the amount of wheat being used to make food this year is at a 5-year low. Cookie and cracker sales down 3.5% from a year ago. Grocery aisle bread sales down 2%. And the boxing trunks that Muhammad Ali wore when he beat Joe Frazier at the 1975 Thrilla in Manila bout are being put up for auction. And Sotheby's auction house expects they'll fetch upwards of $6 million. Tom Busby, Bloomberg Radio.
It's the L Show with Dr. Nicole Eastman on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC. Call 844-STUDIO-4 to join in the conversation.
Welcome back to the L Show. I'm your host, Dr. Nicole Eastman. If you or your healthcare provider has been looking for a quality compounding pharmacy in the Lake Norman area, look no more. Rose Pharmacy is the place for you, where quality shows in every aspect of what we do. If you are taking too many medications, supplements, or both, make sure that you take advantage of our consultation services where we can help you safely solve that issue. And because I know that many folks are on those weight loss medications, specifically the popular GLP-1s, one of the side effects that can lead to some sort of downstream issues is nutrient depletion. Rose Pharmacy now offers a supplement specifically geared towards GLP-1 nutrient depletion. And why would you invest in a weight loss journey without maintaining the nutrients that your body needs while you are calorie restricting? You must be vigilant. Allow Rose Pharmacy to help you in this regard. We can help make your weight loss journey, no matter where you are in the process, a much more comprehensive one. Call or come into the store and let us know that you heard about us on the L Show, and you're going to be given a 10% off discount. And as always, I want to remind you that at Rose Pharmacy, there is a guarantee of what is in each and every bottle. Very few companies can offer you that. And remember that you can call into the studio, 844-STUDIO-4, or you can interact with us on social media with comments and questions. So we left off discussing body odor, right, as an uncommon symptom that we would associate with menopause, but it is absolutely a thing that happens, and people just don't think about the fact that they're having hormonal fluctuations during this time. So, another much less common, but just as disruptive as the other conditions that we've talked about on the show many times before, that we can face during menopause is called burning mouth syndrome. Not sure if anybody has heard of that, but it's called burning mouth syndrome. It is a very painful condition that affects the oral mucosa, so the skin inside of your mouth, without any visual changes being observed. So if somebody looked inside of your mouth, they wouldn't see anything, but you are feeling the pain. So it can affect the swallowing, it can affect eating, of course, it can affect your speech, it can affect your sleep, right? It makes sense because, again, if you are having the burning sensation, you're not going to want to eat. You're not going to really be able to sleep. You're not going to be, I mean, it's just, it's a cycle, right? So, but there's a lot more to it, right, than your mouth just feeling uncomfortable. I mean, like I said, your quality of life, it can affect various aspects of your health. If you are not eating, then you are not getting the nutrients that you needed, right? If you are not able to talk, right, you're not going to be able to communicate. That is difficult as well. I think about it because as I was experiencing going through, when I first started going through menopause, I actually do remember having some issues with just a burning feeling in my mouth. I just thought that, you know, just something was going on. I mean, I had no idea. Maybe I have an illness, a virus. This is gonna pass. But anyway, needless to say, I think about now that I know about burning mouth syndrome. Could that have been what was going on? Right. So it can include like that burning feeling in your tongue, a burning feeling in your lips, your gums, your throat, the roof of your mouth as well. Other symptoms could be things like thirst, a very dry mouth, a bitter and metallic taste in the mouth, loss of taste and mouth tingling, stinging or numbness. And the frequency of the symptoms can vary widely. This can vary from it being all day to it just being sporadic. So, what kind of things can we do if this is what is occurring, right? So, treatment involves, of course, addressing the symptoms and the cause. So, for example, if burning mouth syndrome is likely related to menopause, we start looking into things like hormone replacement therapy, okay? Because if we can balance the hormones, then we should have that symptom go away, right? But there are other potential underlying conditions that can cause it, thyroid problems as well, vitamin deficiencies, and there could be some irritations from acidic foods and things like that. But the cause cannot always be identified. So, really, and this is a diagnosis of exclusion, is what we typically see. So, you go in, you're having these issues, they can't find anything wrong, and they don't see anything, they don't see any lesions in your mouth, and this is where we lead to. And then they look at, okay, what's going on in this person's life? They may take blood work. They see that your hormones are imbalanced. So they are going to attribute what's going on. They're going to say, hey, this could be burning BMS, burning mouth syndrome, attributed to the fact that you are in menopause. They also can use medications to essentially calm down the nerves and sensors in the mouth, okay, because there is some hypersensitivity, right? So, and stress is another thing, and we talked about that earlier with body odor. So, while you are going through these hormonal fluctuations, your stress level can oftentimes be increased. Your cortisol can be super high, and stress can exacerbate any sort of hypersensitive response. So if you are already having these symptoms of, you know, the tingling and the burning in your mouth and whatnot, and you're stressed out, it is just going to be a cycle. So stress relief, looking at things like the yoga, things like mindfulness and meditation, things like that, could also help. And also, as I said, you may need some adrenal support. Okay, adrenal supportive supplement that will help take your cortisol levels down to help you better not react to the hypersensitivities that you are experiencing. Now, something that's interesting here, something that I actually love, is hot sauce. So, hot sauce, also known as pepper sauce, right, Bill? So, this is something that they use to help reduce burning mouth syndrome, right? So, there are certain chemicals in pepper sauce that called capsaicin, actually. Capsaicin, and I don't know if you all are familiar, and I'm sure that many of you are, some of the muscle rubs contain capsaicin. So it's there to help to take away pain, even though there it causes burning. But again, it helps to relieve the burning pain in the nerves. So if you're using pepper sauce, it could go away, right? So in addition to like some of the medical treatments, we're talking about lifestyle changes and other self-help measures like drinking plenty of liquids. You may decide that, listen, I mean, I love ice, and I stopped chewing on ice because I found out how bad it was for my teeth. But again, in this situation, sucking on ice chips, avoiding acidic foods, and liquids such as tomatoes, those are very acidic, orange juice, carbonated beverages, also coffee, trying to avoid alcohol, difficult for me. But again, if you guys are strong enough to do it, avoid alcohol, avoiding spicy foods that don't contain capsaicin, right? Refraining from tobacco use, avoiding products with cinnamon or mint, or using mild or flavor-free toothpaste. So again, you have mostly behavioral things that you can do with some of the things that we sprinkle in, like the capsaicin, that can also help. There are also some medications that that can be prescribed that can help to calm you down. I think of things like Xanax, for instance, right? But that's a medication. But could we use something like CBD, right? So we're talking about CBD, THC. Things that can help to calm you down will help that hypersensitive response, and possibly also help you like kind of not feel the pain. I mean, THC is a great pain reliever all over. So that is another option. But again, there are a number of things that we do not think about when we are going through the hormonal inconsistencies. And I'll tell you that when I was looking at body odor, right, and this was brought up actually by a client of mine, I'm like, you know what, that's something that we really do need to talk about, but we just haven't on the show. But it's uncommon, but I think that people now can actually relate it to maybe their experience of what's going on. So I think that was good. I hope you guys learned something about that. When we get back, we're going to talk about some really good stuff about drug shortages and options, okay? So if you or your healthcare provider has been looking for a quality compounding pharmacy in the Lake Norman area, look no more. Rose Pharmacy is the place for you, where quality shows in every aspect of what we do. And because I know so many people are on the weight loss medications, specifically the popular GLP-1s, one of the side effects is that you get nutrient depletion. Rose Pharmacy now has a supplement specifically geared towards GLP-1 nutrient depletion. Why would you invest in a weight loss journey without maintaining the nutrients that your body needs while your calorie intake has been so decreased? You must be vigilant. Allow Rose Pharmacy to help you in this regard. We can help make your weight loss journey, no matter where you are in the process, a much more comprehensive one. Call or come to the store and let us know that you heard about our weight loss support supplement on the Bell Show, and we're going to give you 10% off. And as always, I want to remind you that at Rose Pharmacy, there is a guarantee of what is in each and every bottle, and very few companies can offer you that. Would love to hear from you today in the studio with questions or comments. 844-STUDIO-4. See you on the other break.
More of the L Show with Dr. Nicole Eastman from Rose Pharmacy straight ahead on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Well, staying breezy as we round out the work week, and cool, too. Partly cloudy skies. We warm into the low 60s again. Still with that breeze, and that'll hang on as we get into the first part of the weekend. Overnight temperatures will dip down into the mid-30s around the farms. Could even be a few folks that see some patchy frost early Saturday morning. We'll warm it up into the mid-60s for Saturday and a little closer to 70 by Sunday. And that's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. This Friday, come enjoy Birkdale's first live Under the Oaks concert for 2024. Danny Carr and the Skeleton Crew will break in the Birkdale stage for the concert season. Bring your lawn chairs to Huntersville and come early. Music powered by Waves Entertainment begins at 6 p.m. Come out and have an amazing time in Mooresville with a weekend doubleheader. On Friday, Uncorked and Artsy returns from 5:30 to 9 p.m. featuring wine and craft beer tastings and an art walk display. Then Saturday marks the beginning of the 2024 Festival of Food Truck Series. Information is available at downtownmooresville.com. The Kane Center for the Arts hosts 4 big shows in 3 days. Thursday, April 11th, sees singer and guitarist Joni Shaw Taylor performing. Doors open at 7 p.m. and the show begins at 8 p.m. Friday, April 12th, 80s music icon John Oates performs. Doors also open at 7 p.m. with the show beginning at 8 p.m. On Saturday, April 13th, comedian Jeff Allen delivers laughs at a 4 p.m. matinee and then again at 8 p.m. Saturday night. For more information on these shows and many other programs, visit canearts.org. That's CAIN arts.org. Merlefest is back April 25th through 28th at Wilkes Community College, featuring nearly 100 performers including Old Crow Medicine Show, Sam Bush, Turnpike Troubadours, the Teskey Brothers, Nickel Creek, and more. Tickets and information at merlefest.org. Listen every morning to Good Morning LKN and follow WSIC News on Instagram for your chance to win tickets. Have an event you would like to tell people about? Yard sales, estate sales, and everything in between? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
The L Show continues now. Here's your host, Dr. Nicole Eastman, on 105.9 100.7 WSIC. Local starts here.
Hello, 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 and welcome back to the L Show. I'm your host, Dr. Nicole Eastman, and if you or your healthcare provider has been looking for a quality compounding area in the Lake Norman area, look no more. Rose Pharmacy is the place for you. Got a little tongue-tied there. Quality shows in every aspect of what we do. And if you are taking too many medications, supplements, or both, make sure that you take advantage of our consultation services where we can help you safely solve that issue. And because I know that many folks are on weight loss medications, specifically the popular GLP-1s, one of the side effects is that it can lead to downstream issues of nutrient depletions. Rose Pharmacy now has a supplement specifically geared towards GLP-1 nutrient depletion. So why would you invest in a weight loss journey without maintaining the nutrients that your body needs while you are calorie restricting? You must be vigilant. Allow Rose Pharmacy to help you in this regard. We can help make your weight loss journey, no matter where you are in that process, a much more comprehensive one. Call or come into the store and let us know you heard about our weight loss support supplement on the L Show, and we're going to give you 10% off. And as always, I want to remind you that at Rose, there is a guarantee of what is in each and every bottle. Very few companies can offer you that. Feel free to still call into the studio at 844-STUDIO-4, or you can interact with us on social media. So we ended the topic of the uncommon things that can happen in menopause. Now we are going to shift to what is just a common issue, right? And that's drug shortages and options. So we started the show with weight loss. So the show talking about the GLP-1s. Those are the ones that are really on everyone's minds, right? There are drug shortages with those medications. They are just not available. But this is where compounders come in, compounders like myself. This is where we shine because we can fill in gaps. So let's talk about what is defined as a drug shortage. A drug shortage, as defined by the FDA's Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act, is when the demand or projected demand for the drug within the United States exceeds the supply of the drug. So there are many reasons that a drug can go into shortage, and that includes, but not limited to, problems with manufacturing quality. There could be production delays. There could be supplier delays. For example, supply chain issues such as a delay in the delivery of raw materials and components to a business may cause a shortage. Discontinuations are also another element that can cause shortages. Or when a medication becomes less popular, which is not the case with Ozempic or any of the others, right? But when a medication becomes less popular, there are going to be fewer companies producing it, right? So therefore, fewer production lines that can produce these drugs. And due to capacity difficulties at plants, the raw material suppliers that companies use are likewise constrained in the quantity that they can produce, all right? So the FDA, they do a pretty good job of posting drug shortages on their website. So if you are taking a medication right now and you are wondering why it is difficult to get, you can go on the FDA website, you can click on shortages, and you can see if your drug is listed. There is, I think, 20 pages long of drugs that are currently on the shortage list, and they are monitoring that daily. Drugs come on and off, but I'll tell you that all the GLP-1s are on there daily, okay? So, but that is a resource for people to see, right? So the FDA has it on their website, and there's also a resource for shortages, and that is ASHP. Now, ASHP, they work with the providers more so. The FDA, of course, is for the public, the general public, to find out what's going on. So that's why they publish. Now, for a compounding pharmacy to produce something on a shortage list, it must be present. It must be present on there. So you can't have a compounding pharmacy producing an exact copy of something that is readily available in the marketplace. That just cannot happen. All right. So basically, if we're talking about lisinopril 10 milligrams, just going to put that out there, lisinopril 10 milligram tablets. Well, that is not on the drug shortage list. Okay. So a compounding pharmacy would not be able to make an exact copy of that. And I say exact copy. Could a compounding pharmacy make it different if the provider wants them to make it in that strength that's not available in the marketplace? Absolutely. Okay. But the point is that there are ways that compounding pharmacies can assist when something is on the shortage list. Okay. So, what I think everybody can understand, like the impacts of drug shortages. But according to the 2023 Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Report, by the end of 2022, there were 295 active medication shortages in the United States. This report went on to describe the economic factors, lack of insight into the supply chain, and persistent U.S. overdependence on foreign and geographically concentrated sources for drugs and their raw ingredients. And these shortages have a rippling effect on patient care. We know this, right? So someone who's diabetic, they need their Ozempic, they cannot get it, right? Their diagnoses can be delayed. It raises the possibility of prescription errors due to substitutions of medications. If someone is used to dispensing this drug, right, and this dose and this frequency, now we substitute another drug in its place, the provider may say, you know what, I guess this is going to be the same way. You're going to dose it the same way. You're going to give it the same way. That may not be the case, right? So this can lead to errors. And unfortunately, there has been a huge rise in shortages lately. Again, I know not to belabor the point, but this is the one that is on everybody's minds. It is the GLP-1s, and when is it going to end? The U.S. saw a 30% rise in drug shortages between 2021 and 2022, and I'm sure for 2023 that number has risen greatly. Healthcare providers can proactively stay informed about the latest developments related to any drug shortage by monitoring updates from the FDA or any changes in the availability of certain strengths. Or they could also call the pharmacy, right? They could call the pharmacy and find out what's going on, because typically the pharmacy is going to know what is coming in the pipe, what they see, what they're hearing from their colleagues and whatnot. So there are all these avenues for your providers to stay informed. And they really do need to stay informed, especially if they're going to be prescribing certain drugs that are hot drugs, ones that are on the hot list, right? The ones that everybody wants. They may need to change treatment plans or prescribe different medications to ensure that patients can receive the best possible care. So how can compounding pharmacies help in a drug shortage? As I said, when drug shortages affect the supply of certain medications, a compounding pharmacy can ensure that a patient still has access to the medication that they need. Okay? So we can develop specialized drugs, ensuring that the patients can, get their medication, and we could do it differently, right? We can remove things that may have been an issue. I mean, there's so many ways that compounders can help. We can combine, change ingredients, meet people's needs differently than they were being met before the drug shortage was created, okay? And there are numerous examples of that, and of course, the examples are Ozempic, Wegovy, Zepbound, and Mounjaro. Compounds have been getting a bad rap here recently. You'll see these TikToks and you'll see on Instagram where somebody is saying, don't go to a compounding pharmacy to get these things, XYZ. Listen, don't believe the hype. There is a reason why compounders are able to do it. As I just said, we are allowed to compound when something is on a shortage, when something's on the FDA shortage list. So as long as they are doing it with the correct ingredients, right? So there was an issue with, for instance, with semaglutide, which is Wegovy and Ozempic. Semaglutide base, the base form of that drug is what was used to create Ozempic and Wegovy. At one point, the only thing that was available for compounders to get was the salt form of that drug. Okay, so that then became an issue because really that's illegal to compound because it is not in any approved substance, right? Any approved drug formulation. So now, though, the semaglutide base is available and compounders do have access to it and they are compounding with it. Tirzepatide, the same thing. So there are ways for people to get assistance during times of famine, okay, when we need to make sure you're being taken care of. So do not sleep on your compounding pharmacy. So that is a plug for my peeps out there who are compounders who know that the struggle is real and we are here to help people to stay compliant and stay healthy. So if you or your healthcare provider has been looking for a quality compounding pharmacy in the Lake Norman area, look no more. Rose Pharmacy is the place for you where quality shows in every aspect of what we do. And if you're taking too many medications, supplements, or both, take advantage of our consultation services where we can help you safely solve that issue. And because I know many folks are on those weight loss medications, specifically those popular GLP-1s, one of the other side effects that happens is nutrient depletion. Well, we now have a supplement specifically geared towards GLP-1 nutrient depletion. You should come in and ask us about that supplement, and we can help make sure that your weight loss journey is as comprehensive as it possibly can be. We're going to give you 10% off if you come in and let us know you heard about it on the Elle Show. And again, what we offer there is quality that just is unmatched. We can guarantee what is in every single bottle. I want to thank you to everyone who tuned in to this week's segment of the Elle Show. I hope that your time with me today was informative and helpful. I'm your host, Dr. Nicole Eastman, pharmacist and owner of Rose Pharmacy and Boutique Apothecary here in Cornelius. And for those of you who missed any part of the show, you can go and find them on WSIC News, or you can watch by following them on Facebook. Ladies, block off that 3 to 4 p.m. time slot every Friday for the Elle Show because I want this to be our happy hour. We are wrapping up our very busy week together. Thanks, guys. See you soon.
Serving you better than ever before. 105.9, 100.7, WSIC, Statesville, Mooresville, North Charlotte.